today, actually with a couple of our friends, to talk about dating people of other cultures or other races.
All of us here are currently in cross-cultural or inter-ethnic relationships, and we've all been in monocultural, same ethnicity relationships.
It's a mouthful, isn't
It
it?
is.
It's hard enough sometimes being in a relationship in general, but then when you add a few different spices to the mix, people from other countries, it can get a little more interesting.
That is true. So we're here and we're going to talk about some things that impact our relationships and see if there's a mystery there. Obviously, there are so many ways to describe the type of relationships we're in. And just as an example, I've got a few right here. We've got bi, inter, multicultural, racial, ethnic. So what do you guys use to describe your relationship? Is there anything in particular that you use, or do you not refer to it, or what do you say?
Honestly, I don't refer to anything.
Yeah.
But if I see those three, I think I'll go with multicultural.
Multicultural?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think.
Why do you think that?
Yeah.
Because we are, like, my husband and I, we only don't have, like, Latin friends. We have, like, people from Iraq, Moroccan, Puerto Rico, European. So I think we are with
You're in a multicultural environment,
Yes,
and that's how you describe it.
And what about you?
Well, I think I never refer to my relationship outside of my relationship, but when we talk about it, we think about it as an intercultural relationship.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we have friends from all over the world in different countries, and
I guess I'd have to agree now that I think about it. I will often say, oh, I'm dating someone from Peru, but I don't ever label it in that way.
yeah.
What do you do, Wyatt?
Usually, if people ask me about my husband, I'll say he's from Sweden, and then I guess they assume that I'm in a multicultural relationship.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
yeah, that's kind of how I refer to it. Multicultural. I mean, if we're talking about ethnicity, I'll say ethnicity essentially, interethnic, or that we're from two different ethnicities. But yeah, you're right. That usually never comes up.
Right.
So
Right.
What about stereotypes? Have you guys ever come across any stereotypes when someone finds out that you're in a relationship with someone from Iraq? I'm dating someone from Latin America, and there are stereotypes of the Latin lover, or
jungle
does
fever.
you get that?
No, I don't get it, but that's the stereotype, definitely. A white guy dating a black girl? Yeah, there's
Yeah. Or people say, oh, he's from Latin America. Does he require that you do all the, laundry and all the dishes?
Yeah, machismo for
Yeah.
Latinos.
I
Yeah,
guess
that's
I've had
definitely
it
there.
in more of a joking way, but I wonder, have you guys
Right.
ever come across any stereotypes from family or
Well,
friends?
in Latin
or-
America, everybody knows there's a lot of machismo there. But no, actually, I think with years, guys are changing as well, are more open-minded.
I think for me, I did sometimes, like if he would say to me, hey, can you pick this up from the grocery store, or, can you do this the next time you wash the sheets? I felt like, oh my gosh, he's judging me and trying to put me in this Latin woman's role. And it wasn't at all. He has a right to ask to pick up the milk. I ask those same things of him sometimes, but, that was my stereotype.
I remember when I first started dating my husband, there were a few people who, cautioned me about it, since people thought, people from Iran are very religious and, fanatically religious. And my husband is certainly not like that, and neither is his family. In fact, they're very liberal, and people do have a stereotype about people from Iran, and they don't realize that a lot of Iranians are actually extremely liberal. And I feel like my husband is a lot more liberal than I am, actually. He tells me jokingly that I'm more conservative than his mom.
Then his
Oh,
mom.
And his mom, and that's not fun.
My husband, I guess I did have a little bit of an inkling. He's Scandinavian, so Swedish, and there was always that idea that Scandinavians are very reserved and everything, which I have found, like going through that culture, you do see that. And then they tend to loosen up after having a little liquor, but that's a whole other story.